8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise the evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take it all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. I hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What is up? How you doing? OMG. How's it going, bro? All right, looks like the mic is working fine. I was bringing out, I'm a little past my timer just because I was trying to find this one video clip that Freedom Death shared with me recently. It's an amazing clip. Let's see, hold on. Where is it? And then tells wow, I can't see it with just bringing up the video. I kind of wonder if the video, well, the video is still technically there because I have it here. It's James Freeman. All right, let's look for James Freeman. Maybe we can find it that way. Are you driving? OMG, how you doing? Well, he's got a lot of James Freeman has got a lot of videos. Let's just put it that way. So I'm not gonna look for that no more. But welcome to the evening catch up ish. It's changed. It's a lot different now. It's once a week instead of 5 times a week. So I'm not surprised that we don't have a lot of people here. But hopefully, with enough time and always doing it on a Wednesday, everybody will figure it out. And if they want to see it, they'll come. And if they don't, then they won't. So I'm glad to see you here, OMG. And I'm sure we'll have Gerald here eventually at some point as well. Oh, my goodness. So it's been a week. You're in California at $58.99. I don't know where $58.99 is, but congratulations. You don't have to explain it though either. Don't go out of your way. California's nice this time of year though. Well, I guess it does depend on where. $58.99, wherever that is. But if it's in Southern California, it's not horrible. If you have to go through Phoenix, now's the time. You know what I mean? Now is the time. I don't know what the weather is like everywhere else, but here it was pretty warm today. I think we got close to 80. It is currently 72 outside. So sorry to all the people out there that are dealing with much cooler weather. Don't worry. We'll have my pay back in about a month. We are already getting into the 80s this week. So that's just crazy. Yeah, it was 79 today. Tomorrow is going to be 80 and 79, then 82 for the Saturday and Sunday. Bakersfield. All right. Cool. As far as what's been going on for me, not a lot. I've been training to be a BSA. We'll see what comes of that. Other than that, just trying to get things taken care of so that we can either move to a bigger place or out of state. I'm not exactly sure which will come first. I'd like to get out of the state, kinda. I love Arizona. I was born and raised here. I think it's a beautiful state. I don't want to deal with the heat anymore. I'm done with that. It's better now that I've lost a lot of weight, but it's still hot. And I don't like it. And I don't have the chat over here, so I apologize for that. Let's see if I can at least turn this one off. Boom. All right, let's just go over here. At least the chat. Oh, the chat is very small over here. You can't even read it. Great. What is a BSA? BSA is a business system analyst. It basically, in a business, there is departments, right? And those departments need to function better. So a BSA goes in there and checks. This is very layman's terms. But the BSA goes in there and looks at, the person tells the BSA what the problem is and what they want to accomplish, right? And the BSA then has to figure out what they can and cannot do and tell them what they can and cannot do right there on the call. And then once they have that, they go to their developing team, and the developers actually make said product or said computer program or whatever it is in order to help the company function better. That's basically what they do. They go in there and solve problems, or the middleman. It's the middleman of the solving the problems, and some problems don't get solved, and that's up to somebody else, I believe, as well. But anyway, that's a very big. I'm still learning, so I'm sure Nugs could tell you a lot more than I could. You need to bust out the green screen and the weather map. Oh, should we do the weather report? We should. Thank you, Nugs. I should do that, something like that. That'd be hilarious. What up, Gerald? How you doing? Mule Team, bro, I missed you on the Dragon last Friday. Let me know if you're interested in even doing that anymore, because last time it was just me and Gerald, and I was like, I love hanging out with Gerald. Gerald, don't think I don't love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with you. I've actually been thinking, instead of doing that, maybe we just have a hangout after one of these. I don't know. I'd like to keep the Dragon going, though. I think it's a great way to vent for now until, they kind of kill that. Let me adjust this real quick. There we go. That's at least a little better, right? You can at least kind of hopefully read that. Anyway. Hey, people, nugs. We're doing pretty good. We're still working on the financial issues, but we're doing pretty well. We did take a break in fixing our financial issues a little bit because there was a computer component that we needed to technically finish Nugs' build for her computer. I already had a computer. It's a couple years old, so it's not as great as it was. We built it ground up with the idea of upgrading it as we went, and we just never really did. Financially couldn't, right? And not to mention graphics cards. Graphic cards are really hard to find, and I need a good one in order to do streaming and stuff like that. At least the kind of streaming that I do, not just this, but game stuff as well. So I need a good graphics card. Well, I had a 1080 Ti, if you know what that is. And when I got it used, and it was already pretty much out of date because the 20 series cards were just coming out. And I was like, well, eventually I'll upgrade to the 20 series card, but they were like $2,000. I'm like, I ain't gonna do that. I gotta wait for the price to come down. Anyway, they never really came down, and then they were really hard to find. So yeah, if you could find them, that's great, but you can't find them because they're always out of stock. And so I just never got one. And then just a few days, well, actually about a week ago or so, she was on the internet just looking for some reason. I don't really know why, but she found a 3060, which is the newer card. It's not the best, but it's the best my computer can handle. And it was at MSRP and in stock. And so we kind of put everything on hold so that we could buy that because I've never seen one at stock. I haven't built a lot of computers, but for the little bit of time that I've been into that whole building a computer thing, I've never seen them in stock. So we jumped on that, and that made us pause a little bit with our financial recovery. But it did finish her computer because I gave her my 1080 and I took the 2060 or the 3060. So now she has a computer as well. The dragon is yours, my friend. If I start ranting, I'll go to jail. Fed time. Well, I've been really enjoying the videos you have been putting out. That's why I was like, well, shit. Sounds like Mule needs to be on the dragon. Oh, I did. Okay. I did a good job explaining. That's progress, right, Nugs? BSA is responsible for acting as a liaison between the business requester and the technology team. The BSA writer user stories that developers use to develop this. You ever watch Office Space, the movie? There's a guy in there who gets let go because he talks to the customers and then talks to the developers so that the developers don't have to talk to the customers, and he gets let go because technically, why doesn't the developers just talk to the customers? Well, technically, I think he was kind of a BSA role right there. And as far as the dragon goes, dude, no fun. It's no fun if there ain't participants, is all I'm saying. So if I have participants, if I have people interested, I will go out of my way to set it up and run it if I have to, or teach any. And I've said this a million times. Let me say it one more damn time. If anybody that is, old OG, at least the ones that I know of, or if Mule says this person's cool, let them have the keys, then there you go. You might say the dragon is mine. And yes, I have the main keys, but it's never going to be mine. I don't even know if it's yours. It's just is. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. If I think somebody else can run it better or has an opportunity and they want to, I'm all for passing that torch on if necessary. And obviously, I'd love to be a part of it. Like if Tony ever had a chat or something like that on the dragon, I'd want to be there. These comments are weird. I don't even understand why this is doing this. Wow. That comment was super long. Okay. We'll just put it down here for now. All right, we got some videos to watch. I haven't really caught up too much. I do know that this one's from Irish USMC Vet. Apparently, some stuff is going on in the Ukraine. I know a little bit about it. I know that Russia is worried that the Ukraine will join NATO, and they were promised that the NATO wouldn't expand eastward. And so that's the whole plot-ish. That's the main part. So this clip is Irish USMC Vet playing a little bit of video off of a TV or computer screen. I believe it's a computer screen.
Я хочу еще раз все-таки подчеркнуть это. Я говорил, но мне очень бы хотелось, чтобы вы меня услышали все-таки в конце концов. И донесли это до своих читателей.
Hold on one damn second. Let me just get this out of the way.
Я хочу еще раз все-таки подчеркнуть это. Я говорил, но мне очень бы хотелось, чтобы вы меня услышали все-таки в конце концов. И донесли это до своих читателей, зрителей и пользователей в интернете. Но вы понимаете или нет, что если Украина будет в НАТО и военным путем будет возвращать себе Крым, европейские страны автоматически будут втянуты в военный конфликт с Россией. Конечно, потенциал объединенной организации НАТО и России несопоставим. Мы понимаем. Но мы также и понимаем, что Россия одна из ведущих ядерных держав, но по некоторым компонентам по современности даже многих опережает. Победителей не будет. И вы окажетесь втянутыми в этот конфликт помимо своей воли. Вы даже не успеете глазом моргнуть, когда будете исполнять пункт 5 Римского.
You won't even have time to blink an eye.
Конечно,
he's talking about nuclear war.
Я не хочу. И я не хочу. Поэтому здесь он находится и мучает меня уже 6 часов подряд.
Well, there you have it, folks. Mr. Vladimir Putin has threatened them now, threatened everybody with nuclear war. So I'll put a link below. Who knows if CuckTube will take it down or not, but anyways, just wanted to share with you guys and gals. So go back and watch some old videos. Check out the videos on all that nuclear stuff that you may or may not need now. All that shit that we talked about back in the day with whatever the COVID came out will also work for nuclear fallout and stuff. So anyways, I'll post some links below. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, bitches, moans, complaints. Leave it in the comment section below. And you might want to be ready for this. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. He looked pretty confident to me. And considering we have a cuck in the fucking White House, you know.
What up, Guns Coast to
Better
Coast?
safe than sorry.
You're listening in the
Anyways,
background?
Simplify, Godspeed.
Right.
Peace.
Thanks, Guns. I appreciate it. You're watching more of my videos than I'm watching of yours. I should get on that. It's a little bit more about that. Homeland Security labels those who undermine public trust in the government as terrorists. Ooh. Tony Schiffert? I have no idea how he... The Department of Homeland Security has recently released a National Terrorism Advisory System Bulletin, redefining as terrorists American citizens who disagree with the left about any number of its pet causes. Words matter. The advisory, which must be read in full to be believed, is clearly designed to intimidate ordinary Americans who question or criticize official dogma on the coup. Maybe this is why Mule doesn't want to be on the Dragon. I don't know. Big tech companies, public-private surveillance, among other issues. The bulletin focuses in particular on what DHS clumsily dubs dis, and malinformation, or MDM, and effectively discards the First Amendment of the United States Constitution for the purposes of deep state intrigue. The United States remains in a heightened threat environment fueled by an online environment filled with false or misleading narratives and conspiracy theories, the bulletin breathlessly warned. These threat actors seek to exacerbate. Yeah, that's good enough. So, societal friction to sow discord and undermine public trust in government, and to encourage unrest. which could potentially inspire acts of violence, the advisory continued. Strangely absent from the key factors that have contributed to domestic unrest is any of the nefarious, underhanded work recently performed by the administrative state, from the Russiagate hoax to the FBI's involvement in entrapping, prosecuting, and imprisoning American citizens. Not just January 6th, but let's talk about Governor Whitmer. There was like 16 people. I think 12 of them were feds or more. In a section entitled How We Are Responding, the DHS informs Americans that they will now be surveilled by the broadest audience possible in the public and private sectors and across all local and federal government entities. You thought it was bad before, apparently. Furthermore, the DHS Office of Intelligence and Analysis has established a new dedicated domestic tourism branch to produce the sound, timely intelligence needed to counter related threats. I'm going to be put on a list or just read it. I'm not even saying what my opinion on it is, technically. Though this office has expanded the federal government's evaluation of online activity as part of its efforts to assess and prevent acts of violence, we are assured it does so while ensuring the protection of privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties. Wow. 1984, at least. Yeah. Imagine. They actually come out and say, while ensuring the protection of privacy. How are you protecting privacy when you're going through people's social and looking for whatever you're looking for to deem them something that you deem them? Civil rights, privacy, and civil liberties. You know, like the First Amendment. All right, we have a video here from Guns and Gadgets. Apparently a bipartisan gun control is incoming, and this is breaking news. It just was released a few hours ago. So I haven't watched much of it, just the intro, just to see if there was like an ad that I need to skip over. It doesn't seem like there is, so we'll go ahead and start this.
Today, this one's kind of breaking news. It has to get out right now. I need you guys and gals to be focused on taking some action. I just got notification from my friend Aiden over at Gun Owners of America, and there's been some shady doo-doo going on in Capitol Hill today. If you haven't watched my video I did today about the NICS Denial Notification Act, please watch that video immediately after this, because that entire bill was just put into what I'm about to talk about now. We have bipartisan support right now for what has been called the Violence Against Women Act. I've done numerous videos
Who would be
on the Violence
against
Against Women
that?
Act. It's passed the House, and it was
Nobody's going to be
jam-packed
against
with
that.
all kinds of gun control. There were the main thing was a national red flag verbiage that was.
I was
in
pretty
there,
sure
that was
they
thrown in there
tried
by
to put
Nancy
that in
Pelosi.
before.
We've been able to beat that off a couple of years in a row now with the help of you all contacting your legislators. It absolutely helps. We hear it on the back end of how many phone calls they got, and things were changed. Stay with me, please, because I'm going to read you something that's just been put into this bill that it's going to make you red. It's going to make you mad, but I need you all to
Look
be
away,
focused,
mule. Look
because
away.
it's up to us to stop this. This can still be stopped, but the ball's rolling, and it's not rolling for us. It's rolling against us. So I'm going to give you the good news first, and I'm looking off the screen. I got four things going, trying to get the notes right and ready because I'm just came on live. So GOA has been fighting this bill since 2019. I've been doing videos on it since then. The origination of this bill was way back in the day when Biden was a senator, and it's been re-upped every 5 years, I think, until Pelosi put in the gun control, which is when we started to stop this stuff. So the Violence Against Women Act passed the House with tons of gun control last year, like I told you, but this new version, especially now, as of today, is much different because there are federal grants to fund firearm seizures, new form of red flag gun confiscation orders, like I just mentioned, and an expansion of the Lattenberg misdemeanor gun ban. That's the boyfriend loophole thing they just keep making up. Guys and gals, look, as somebody who was in law enforcement for a long time, it's really easy to get a restraining order. Some people deserve them. Some people don't. Okay, that's all I'll say on that. But if you've ever had one, they want to make sure you are federally prohibited from owning a firearm for the rest of your life, to never be able to defend yourself, your family, forever. All right, that's what they want.
And that's usually just
the
on a
boyfriend
claim,
loophole
right?
Bullshit they talk about. So it's, sorry, I'm getting notifications like crazy. So there are 3 terrible anti-gun sections. Like I just said, I'm going to read you those sections real quick. It's a couple sentences in each section, so bear with me. Again, I'm going to read it, and I'll try to link everything to you. And I'm going to have a link in the description once I'm done with this and can edit it. You can take immediate action through a GOA link and get the word out to your legislators. So this is the new version of the Violence Against Women Act. It was literally just released. I had to get it in an email because it's not even posted anywhere on the federal government yet.
Damn.
This is the version for today, February 9th, 2022. And this is the Senate. This is coming out of the United States Senate. Title 11 is called Law Enforcement Tools to Enhance Public Safety. Section 1101 incorporates the Bipartisan NICS Denial Notification Act that I just did the video on because I said I was hearing that they were getting traction. Well, there's so much traction they threw it in the Violence Against Women Act because they really want this. So the bill I mentioned, 675 in the Senate, is catching steam, and they jam-packed it in here too. That's how bad they want to screw us. Okay, so it was.
I don't know what you're talking about, guns and gadgets. I mean, I'm not getting screwed at all.
Local tribal law enforcement and prosecutors, if an individual has attempted to purchase a firearm and has been denied pursuant to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. Excuse the kids running around. It sounds like there's wildebeest above me. I have kids.
So get this. They're doing this side, right? They're going to get all these ways to take your rights away from you from somebody doing that. Not to mention now that they're going after what a firearm even is, right? For a long time, it was the lower receiver. And I guess a lot of people got out of jail time or, trouble because like an AR-15, a lower receiver is not technically a firearm according to what the firearm definition is, right? It has to have the bolt as well, and it don't because the bolt is in the upper. So a lot of people would get off on that charge of having a gun as a felon because technically, well, and it didn't hurt that there was a retired ATF agent going around and helping people beat that charge. At least it didn't help for the government. So now they're trying to redefine that. They're also trying to make it so an 80% lower is a firearm. So, I mean, I don't know what's next. We already seen that a picture on a piece of metal can be considered a machine gun, right? So who's to say that a shovel can't be considered an AK-47? Pretty soon you're going to have to do a background check just to get some gardening equipment.
Reports are required to be made to the relevant parties within 24 hours and must include the date and time of the notice, the location where the purchaser attempted to obtain the firearm, and the identity of the person.
We missed you on the dragon, bro.
The AG is required to notify the relevant parties if it's
let me know if you want to be a part of one.
From obtaining a firearm. The problem with this that they won't tell you is that even according to their own reports, the federal government's own reports of the NICS denials, 90% of them are false denials, false positives.
You had a name that was similar to somebody else.
Have a criminal investigation on them when the error 90% of the time is on the FBI side. So you're going to be investigated for the attempted illegal purchase of a firearm and treated like a criminal when you're not. So how do you like them frickin' apples? That's the first section. Section 1102 says it requires the Attorney General to provide an annual report to Congress regarding statistics related to the number of denials pursuant to this title and other related information. 1103 requires the Attorney General to appoint prosecutors and attorneys within the federal government to serve as special assistant to U.S. attorneys who are tasked with helping prosecute individuals who violate the prohibition in 18 U.S.C. 922 G Golf 8 and 9. And 1104 requires the Attorney General to conduct a review of law enforcement and crime prevention programs that help combat criminal offenses against Native Hawaiians. Then there's closing law enforcement consent loopholes. There's all kinds of bad stuff on here. But the big thing is that there's red flag in here, this NICS Denial Notification Act, which would treat everybody who got a false positive as a friggin' criminal. And I want to add on that. This issue of people getting denied on NICS checks is nothing new. It's been going on since they created the damn 4473.
Yep.
But the amount of people who have been prosecuted all the way back, even like under their, under the Obama days and way back, like it's minuscule. The percentage is minimal on the amount of prosecutions. Now they want to prosecute all of them when
I need to
90%
sell
of
some
those
guns.
denials are wrong. But you, the citizen, are going to be treated like a criminal for something you never did. Does that sound like due process? Does that sound like America? It doesn't to me. It doesn't to me. So
Hasn't sounded like America to me. I don't know. I wasn't always this, well, I'm not even that in tune now, but I was a lot less in tune back, in my earlier years. So I don't really know how bad it was in like the 2000s or the 90s ish. I mean, I know about Bill Clinton and I was around in that time, but I wasn't, watching the news that much. I know he did some things that I disagreed with, and I thought that he shouldn't have gotten in trouble for, getting a blowjob or whatever else he got, because I wouldn't want to be married to Hillary. But it is what it is. What up, Broken Patriot? How you doing? And Tone says one thing and then just lurks or bounces. All right. I don't know what this is. Criminal investigation on people buying guns. Yeah, this is the next video in that playlist. I'm not going to watch it. It is 5 minutes and 38 seconds, but apparently, I mean, he kind of already touched on it, that if you're going to try to buy a firearm and you can't pass a background check, or you have issues passing one because you have a common name, you could be looked at as a criminal. All right, we're going to switch over to the COOF a little bit.
CNN's medical correspondent Dr. Leanna Wen is openly calling on parents and schools to defy the CDC's guidelines regarding their recommendations that kids wear masks in schools, saying that they shouldn't wear them.
Let me rewind that, because this is important.
CNN's medical correspondent Dr. Leanna Wen is openly calling on parents and schools to defy the CDC's guidelines regarding their recommendations that kids wear masks in schools, saying that they shouldn't wear them anymore. Of course, if I were to say something like that, then YouTube would censor the video and issue a strike on the account, because normal people aren't allowed to dare disagree, let alone encourage people to violate the CDC's guidelines.
While we're seeing states and locales take matters into their own hands, that means that the federal...
That right there, what he just said, is normal people can't say that. All right, you cannot disagree as a normal person with the CDC. You're not allowed to. Because if you do, you will be removed, striked, video will be removed, or something like that. Remind me again about freedom of speech? Interesting.
Government is becoming less and less relevant. If the CDC guidance that they're putting out is now not being followed by virtually anyone, that makes the CDC and our federal public health authorities have less credibility. And so I really believe that they need to be changing their guidance. Also, the science has changed.
Science always changes.
The CDC has already lost a lot of trust and credibility.
I don't even know if I can get in I might get in trouble with this. YouTube, I don't know. But science, does it change? That's a question. I don't know the answer. I have a opinion. My opinion is that science shouldn't change, right? If you talk about plants, right? You're growing tomatoes. Photosynthesis hasn't changed, has it? Does photosynthesis still do the exact same thing it's been doing my whole life? Just my life. I believe so. There's a lot of science out there there's a lot of science out there I know about that hasn't changed. I've never heard of this evolving science until the COOF. That's the first time I've ever heard of evolving science. And all that means to me, as a layman, not necessarily to you, I'm not telling you what to believe, but to me, it sounds like they don't know what they're talking about, and they're making it up as they go. That's how it comes across to me.
This is their time to rebuild and remove restrictions as quickly as they were put in. The responsibility should shift from a government mandate imposed from the state or the local district of the school. Rather, it should shift to an individual responsibility by the family.
This
Kind
is
of
CNN.
amazing, considering former CEO Jeff Zucker was fired only a week ago, and already things are changing. I mean, what's next? Is Joe Biden going to hand out free crack pipes for Black History Month in the name of racial equity? Oh, wait, what's this?
This administration is now going to spend $30 million from hardworking taxpayers on buying crack pipes for drug addicts. They think this is somehow helping them when it comes to racial equality. That's what they're literally saying.
This really is true, by the way. I didn't believe it either, but they are doing this. And their justification is that they're trying to encourage the druggies to smoke their crack and crystal meth instead
So
of
when you pay your
injecting it,
taxes,
because that way, at least, they won't get AIDS. Obviously, Hunter Biden is consulting on the program, and that joke wrote itself. But back to this CNN doctor, Dr. Wen. A couple weeks ago, she actually also violated the CDC recommended guidelines, shockingly saying this.
Cloth masks are little more than facial decorations. There's no place for them in light of Omicron.
Instead of the entire liberal media industrial complex denouncing her and Twitter banning her like they did Dr. Robert Malone, a few days later, the CDC actually updated their guidelines and basically agreed with her. Not all Democrats are ready to
Evolving
agree with
science.
normal people, however, and say that we should put an end to the mask mandates, particularly in schools. Here's Stacey Abrams, who you may recall failed at the Georgia gubernatorial race back in 2018, but undermined our democracy by saying it wasn't a fair election.
So do you think it's time to lift these mask requirements in schools? Would you lift them if you were governor of Georgia?
COVID hygiene is going to be a point of debate for a very long time, and we can only follow the science and follow our circumstances. Unfortunately, in
He's
Georgia,
got
we're not in a
pig
place
squealing
where
noises in the
that
back.
conversation is ready. I believe that our job is to protect children.
Protect the children, she says, which is why she demands mask mandates stay in place in the schools. When here she is, pictured in a classroom just a few days ago, the only person without one. After that photo went viral, she issued this statement, and I'm serious, this isn't from the Babylon Bee. This really is her statement. Quote, "It is shameful that our opponents are using a Black History Month reading event for Georgia children as the impetus for a false political attack.
False.
And it is
It's
pitiful
false.
and
It's
predictable
totally false.
that our opponents continue to
It
look
is
for
despicable.
opportunities to distract from their failed records when it comes to protecting public health during the pandemic." Yes, this month we're going to continue to hear a lot of entitlement from Black people, like this guy.
So I just finished 6.25-mile run. Why do some people look so cute when they run? I mean, I've got my...
Get out my way! It's Black History Month!
In other anti-whiteism,
I don't know. I think that's a little bit, that might be put on. All right, we got Anonymous American. What up, Anonymous? How you doing? Science equals follow the info to answers. So new information equals new science, technically. If not, we'd be bloodletting to get rid of spirit still. Science constantly changes due to new facts / discoveries. Great. But you can't question it because it's proven science. The CDC has told you it is. And then they turn around and say, oh, it's evolving now. It's funny because there was a thing on Joe Rogan I wanted to watch. Maybe we'll get to it. Joe Rogan called it out perfectly, right? How is it that now you can't question, right? He even said you can't question. However, everything that was being questioned that you would get in trouble for questioning is now, a lot of it has been proven true. Maybe not all of it, right? Not all of it. There's a lot of it, that people had been saying before, like where it originated from. For a long time, you could not say it was from the Wuhan lab in China. And now it's okay, right? Before, you couldn't say anything bad about masks. Now, maybe you can. I'm not going to say nothing because I have no idea. And I'm not trying to get in on that anyway because I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. You do what you want to do. Anyway, all I'm saying is there are plenty of examples of things that not only where the science has evolved, but where you would get in trouble, even though you have a First Amendment right for freedom of speech, you would get in trouble on social media and banned or have your video taken down if you questioned anything like that. I'm pretty sure it was even, you try to do that at a job, see what happens. You know what I mean? Anyway, So saying follow the science equals follows the facts. They just cherry pick facts, aka no, the science hasn't changed. They were following the science evidence. Okay. They were following the scientific evidence. All right. I'm not gonna watch the whole Mark Dice video. He goes on a whole different thing right now. However, I thought maybe we could have some good stories. I like good stories. Again, because the media, big medical and big government, yeah, everything was sponsored by, Pfizer? It's so ridiculous. I mean, we always knew about it. Like, shit, if you go back and watch, since we were already talking about the dragon, if you were to go back and watch the dragon, it was pretty bad back then. It was pretty bad in the Bush era, right? Even then, I kind of knew what was going on. And I'm like, man, this country's gone to shit, right? And now, tell me a right in the Constitution, a God-given right, not one that's given to me by my government, but one that was given to me by my Creator and is inalienable. How is it that none of them are being followed, including the one that boldly says to not fuck with it? Anyway, Wyoming's 5th and 6th graders learn something useful. They're learning gun safety. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I think we might have to move to Montana. I'm just joking. Wyoming. A Wyoming elementary school has decided to include a gun safety course as part of its physical education program. 5th and 6th grader students in Hot Springs County, Wyoming, were the first to undergo the new program. Due to liability concerns, the school used air rifles instead of real rifles. Yeah, it's okay. According to the school's Facebook page, Mr. Diomedes' 5th and 6th PE class are working on their marksmanship with air rifles. The post stated, all students passed their safety test and have been sharpening their skills. The post was shared over 60,000 times and received more than 6,000 comments. Kind of curious what the positive and the negatives are. There's going to be negatives on that. Oh my goodness. And they're going to be very vocal. It has since been made private and has been removed. Photos of the post did reappear online later. As usual, Facebook comment section was full of diverse opinions. Training the next school shooter, young and providing the guns on campus. Nice, one Facebook user wrote. Leftists complained in the comment section that the Wyoming school is training future school shooters. They are literally raising possible school shooters, she said, because they know how it works. Educating young kids on the importance of gun safety, if you ever did come across the gun, is teaching them how to be a shooter. What, they're not going to figure out how to work a gun without this class? Thankful the school district sees this as important, another commenter wrote. Gun safety and training is excellent. Keep up the good work. Many others express what they wished they had received such training as school-age children, especially teachers who aspire for a safer teaching environment. It's fantastic. I'm a public school teacher, and I wish my school district would do the same here in Pennsylvania. As a firearms instructor outside of school, I'll be willing to help teach this too, one comment reads. In the state of Wyoming, this type of training is perfectly within the law. The district must also establish training requirements, curricula, and instructor qualifications subject to approval by the local law enforcement. Gun training safety has to include at least 16 hours of live fire handgun training and 8 hours of scenario-based training using non-lethal training, firearms, and ammunition. I can't believe it. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. That's amazing. Again, because the people who wore the things wanted the mandates. I agree with that. And more were actually not following the science. They were suppressing it for more power. Now the truth is too easy to see, and they are clinging to the power. People are peoply. Okay, Nugs. Also, some of the are shifting now because midterms, they want to get the diversity in the illegal votes, and all the people And illegals don't want to be told what to do. So now they're accepting the science to keep in power positions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of the Democrat, I mean, maybe some of them that might have a chance, right? And I don't know what this election is going to hold, but at the same time, if it is up fair and honest, like all the elections we've ever had, then I would think that the Democrats are going to be in for a world of hurt this round. But as I've said before, I don't think it matters. I think we're going down a slippery slope no matter what. It's just how long that fall is going to take. Do you want to go off quick, or do you want to really slow it down? It doesn't matter, because you got bipartisan support for this Violence Against Women Act. Because as I said before, who's not going to be against violence against women? I mean, I'm against violence against women. I think anybody who's violent against a woman should be taken out. So, the normal person who doesn't really know what's in that bill sees that their senator or their congressman did not want to support violence against women, and they're going to be kind of mad at him. I can't believe it. I'm a woman, I like women. Why the hell is he against women? I mean, this guy must be a monster. Let's see. The fairest and the most honest election. You know it. Are you going to the 2A rally? I wasn't planning on it. I didn't know about it. To be honest, I haven't been paying attention on it. And I would suggest a lot of people think about it. Mule Team doesn't want to be on the Dragon because he's worried that he's going to say something that's going to get him in trouble. You now have DHS going after people who post on social media anything that is against the government. If you missed this, you should watch it. If you disagree, if American citizens disagree with the left about a number of its pet causes, you will be considered a domestic terrorist. You could disagree with them about the COOF, public education, illegal immigration, and big tech public-private surveillance. You disagree with them on that online, you're on a list, and they're checking you out. So am I going to go to the 2A rally? I don't know. Probably not. In fact, I'm seriously considering going dark. And if any people that are watching my channel are YouTube content creators or content creators at all, I would think about it. I don't know when enough is going to be enough for the normies. I think I've seen sparks of possibilities with that. But until the normies decide they've had enough, there's really not much we can do other than just get ourselves in trouble. And that's what I'm doing right now, getting myself in trouble. The government works for you or me, not the other way around, so I act as such. Well, that's great until they come to your door. By the way, the truckers are going to D.C., supposedly the first. I do have a little bit of the truckers on here. It's a little bit of an outdated story, though, so you guys keep me up to date on that. What up, War Trumps? I'm surprised you're even here, just because, it's not a really free place anymore. You can't just watch anybody on YouTube. You'd be put on a list for watching the wrong videos now. Our republic it's fallen, and it's just my opinion. In my opinion, I believe it fell a long time before I was even born. I believe it probably fell somewhere in the 1800s, when all of a sudden we were forcing people to stay with us against their will and taking them captive. American citizens. We kept American citizens captive. Well, they didn't want to be American citizens. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But at that point, there's your republic. Government. I already read that. The Samaritan Society right before they fell. Whoop. Yeah. Wait. Our republic is falling, and right now the societal norms that are happening in America, or is it the same exact societal norms that were happening in the Greek society? Yeah. It does tie very closely to the fall of Greece. If you guys are interested, go check out the fall of Greece, and it's close. It's really close. And this country's been around for 200 years plus, and that's about the length of an empire. How is it going to fall? I don't know, but I think we are nearing the end of the United States of America personally, just because there's so 200 years. It's a lot like Greece. We got stuff going on in Russia. We're not friendly with China, right? We think they're the world police, and we think our shit don't stink. At some point, somebody else might say, you know what? We're going to challenge you, America. Maybe we win it. Maybe we don't. I don't know. You can never really tell these kind of things. That's one possibility. There's another possibility that we could have an economic collapse. What happens if the inflation just keeps going up until the dollar crashes? What happens if China and Russia decide not to use the United States dollar for oil anymore? There's a lot of ways that this country could fall quickly. If all of a sudden we are no longer the world standard for oil, we're going to be broke quick. America is going to go into a financial death spin at that point. Supporters rally around Canadian truck driver convoy providing food, gas, and rides. This was 4 days ago. I believe we actually talked about it on the last one, possibly, that they were thinking about doing it, maybe, or they had already done it, but this is a different story on it. Let's see. The Freedom Convoy said they're amazed at the outpouring of support from their fellow citizens. The Freedom Convoy is composed of truckers and other protesters who are demanding the Canadian government in the federal COOF mandates, including requirements for shots for crossing the border. These people knocking on my door every 5 minutes wanting to give, Travis, a trucker from New Brunswick, told Fox. There had been nothing but caring, sharing, and giving. You know what? Let's watch it.
We are coming together, looking after each other, joining arms as Canadians. I've never felt this sense of pride as a Canadian in my life before.
Good for them, man.
There's been nothing but giving. There's people knocking on my door every 5 minutes wanting to give. Here's my point. Here's my point of giving. I have so much food. I love you. I love you.
There's been so many people coming up to us and shaking our hands and helping us with food and drinks and whatnot.
So we came out last week with supplies for hot chocolate, coffee, and tea. And then people saw that we had tables, and it's just been an outpouring of food.
I'm going to be 350 pounds before I get back home, and I didn't leave 350 pounds.
Very friendly people, everything, very nice.
I got guys that come up to my door and offer me cash donations. I refuse. I don't want cash. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this for the choice, for everybody's choice, for freedoms.
We came back this morning, and the table was completely piled full. The front was completely piled, and we still have a little bit of stuff left for yesterday.
The support has been incredible. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been more proud to be Canadian.
Plenty of locals come by who have had their jobs hurt by this protest, going by to grab as much food as they can take home for themselves and their families.
I've been involved in a lot of the shuttling for the truckers. Every morning I've been bringing them in here. They've been staying at some accommodations south of the city.
We're going to be out here as long as it takes. There's some logistics to work out. We got to take care of school and work.
They're just downtown blocking the road.
This is certainly the priority at the moment.
That's awesome.
All the folks out here shoveled the walkway all the way down by hand, just by passing a shovel down the entire walkway for miles, making sure everybody was safe, cleaning up any trash that they come across. It's been unbelievable.
Everyone here is just looking to help people. We're all here for the same reason, to stand up for freedom and freedom of choice.
It's nothing but love and peace out here.
Become like a real hub for people.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, right there.
Yeah, give food and then come and get food if they're hungry.
This morning we loaded up some propane tanks. We have some people at the end of Wellington that need some more heat. So every day we're finding out what specifically they need, and we'll bring it.
I think this weekend
CarMax.
is bigger than last weekend.
He needs CarMax.
People saw what last weekend was like and would like to get involved this time around.
Do you see how caring these people are?
They didn't bring
Canada.
CarMax for that guy.
That is Canada. Let us be Canada again.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that story. All right, let me catch up. Great countries fall from within, but soft times equals soft men. Soft men equals hard times. People here versus people in the third world are 1,000 times different in priorities. Agreed. Absolutely agree on that. The work ethic and the worrying about your feelings or what you identify as. My computer just paused there for a second. But we're worried about the wrong things in life here. Worried about your social media posts, worried about offending somebody because they're a special group that you're supposed to treat with kid gloves, and oops, you done slipped, right? You said something that they don't like because they have reasons, and you didn't mean to, right? For me, I actually try to be a nice person. I go out of my way to not be a dick. I really do. So I'm not going to go up at, let's say, a job or anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere and berate anybody for doing anything that they want to do. The whole live free. You do you and allow me to do me. I don't care what you identify as. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care I don't care. As long as it doesn't affect me and, it's within God's law, I really don't care. If you want me to call you Tammy, but your name is Tom, or you were Tom, and now you're I'll call you Tammy. I will. I'll even try to hurt, But if I slip up, you're in trouble. And it's the wrong priorities, for sure. You make the bed, you have to lay in it, you mess up the bed, well, more work to fix. Well, when you have weak men and you have countries falling because of weak men, what rises from that might or might not be better. I don't know the odds on, I don't know the history on that. What happened to Greece afterwards? Like how long until it became something reasonably decent, right? And look at it now. It's still a government. There is no freedom anywhere. Right? No matter where you go, what country you go to, as far as I'm aware, maybe you guys know of something I don't. But I don't know of a free country out there. I wish there was. I'd love to go to it and visit. Disgraced Biden science advisor held $1 million in BioNTech stock while pushing the shot. Well, that's a little bit of an investment. $1 billion? President Biden's top science advisor, who was forced to resign this week over allegations that he mistreated staff, held on to nearly 1 million. Oh, 1 million, not billion, sorry. 1 million in BioNTech stock while he was pushing for the shots on behalf of the administration. Eric Lander, former head of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, was one of the administration officials tasked with pushing widespread shots against the coup. However, he had a significant financial investment in one of the shot makers, according to financial disclosures. Lander sold the bulk of his shares in BioNTech in June after he was confirmed by the Senate, but waited until August 5th to sell the remaining stock, which was worth anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million, according to Politico. It just so happens that BioNTech stock prices were at their second highest price point when Lander sold everything off at $404 a share with some change. Well, 4 or 5. Before he sold off his stock, Lander was publicly promoting the shots. On August 4th, he wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post. The coup shots can end the current pandemic if enough people choose to protect themselves and their loved ones by getting the shot. Now, here's a problem with the evolving science. What is it? Because I have been told by people I believe I believe the CDC, and the CDC says it's not going to prevent you from getting it. It's only going to lessen the symptoms. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say that, and I'm pretty sure That's what the CDC says. So how is it that if not enough people decide to do this, they're just horrible people and they decide they don't care about their little old ladies in nursing homes, right? They're just mean, evil people. And they say, I'm not going to get it. Okay, well, how does that then affect those who did get it? Because it's not supposed to prevent you from getting it, according to the CDC. It's only supposed to lessen the symptoms. So if I don't get it, or if somebody doesn't get the shot, how is it that them not getting the shot makes somebody who did get the shot more at risk, or at risk at all? More at risk than anybody else. Okay, better example. If two people with the shot meet each other and one of them gets the other one sick, who's to blame on that? Because you probably have the same likelihood of getting each other sick doing it that way as somebody who doesn't have the shot getting you sick. It doesn't prevent it. It only makes the symptoms less now. Now, I couldn't have said that a few months ago. I might even get in trouble now. But I believe that's what the CDC recently came out with. So now the evolving science, things that you could get in trouble for last month are totally okay now. Because even though it's called a vaccine, not a vaccine, it's a treatment to lessen the severities of the illness. I believe. I'm not a medical doctor. Don't take medical advice from me. I am trying to understand it myself. I'm not telling you what it is. I am trying to internally understand what it is. Lander did not disclose his stock holdings in BioNTech in this op-ed. A spokesperson for the OSTP dismissed the idea that Lander's stock holdings were unethical. Of course they would. I mean, look at all the Congress people that make money on the stock market. Your report shows that Eric was fully legally compliant, the spokesperson told him. The law is clear, and conversations and opinion pieces telling people how they should get shots during a global pandemic are not even close to an ethics concern. I'm sure it's not. All right, I kind of want to get through these right now. This one caught my eye. J6 Inquisition helps validate Trump's 9,000 pages of, I'm pretty sure I can't say this still. So we're going to walk through this with baby gloves. Colorado attorney Jenna Ellis told her Twitter audience that she produced 9,000 pages of legal documents created by Donald Trump's team that backs up former president's contention of something that we all know about. More importantly, the documents are now part of the public record, said Ellis, thanks to J6 subpoena demanding the legal work. While no judicial forum, including the Supreme Court, allowed us to produce these documents or witness and refused to hear our case on the merits, this file is now in the permanent congressional record, Ellis said. President produced over 9,000 pages of documentation, yada, yada. The JC committee was when subpoenaing Trump's legal advisors, in addition to Rudy, Sidney Powell, and Boris Epson. In addition to Ellis, carefully crafted their press release to make it appear that the mere suggestion that something bad happened during that time in history is a criminal act. Hold up. The J6 committee, when subpoenaing Trump's legal advisors, carefully crafted their press release to make it appear that the mere suggestion that anything nefarious happened during last year's event is a criminal act. Freedom of speech. You free? The four individuals we've subpoenaed today advanced unsupported theories about last year's events, pushed efforts to overturn last year's events, or were in direct contact with the former president about attempts to stop last year's events. Ellis said that such a characterization by not just liberals, by also the mainstream media is baseless and totally false, and hinted that the documents might come back to haunt the committee. Indeed, former House Republican Speaker Newt Gingrich warned that the same weapons that liberals are using to attack the former president and other political opponents could be used against the members of the J6 committee and those misusing laws for partisan political purposes. Will the Republican, I'm guessing he's talking about Republicans. Will the Republicans do that? As I've said many a time, there are Republicans that might try. There are those kind of Republicans. But most Republicans and most conservatives, in my opinion, it's just mine, is that we like to play by the rules. We don't try to buck the system. We don't play house rule monopoly, all right? We want to play by the rules and win fairly. It's hard to win fairly when the other person does not share the same opinion on that. You have both with Attorney General Merrick Garland and with the Select Committee, January 6 people who have run amok. Gotta love amok. I love that word, amok. Gingrich then said that after the midterms, the GOP could be issuing subpoenas of their own. And all these people who have been so tough and so mean and so nasty are going to be delivered subpoenas for every document, every conversation, every tweet, every email, he said. Well, I can only hope. So let's see. This was a big article about the Ukraine mess. Let's see if this video will allow me not to read it.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday the United States and NATO had not addressed Russia's main security demands in their standoff over Ukraine. But Moscow is ready to keep talking. That was Putin's first reaction to the US and NATO responses to Russia's demands in a phone call with French President Emmanuel Macron. After weeks of personal public silence on the crisis in which Russia has massed troops near Ukraine. The Kremlin quoted Putin as telling Macron he would study the written responses provided by Washington and NATO this week before deciding on further action. It said attention was drawn to the fact that the US and NATO replies did not take into account Russia's principal concerns. Those include avoiding NATO expansion, not deploying offensive weapons near Russia's borders, and returning NATO military capabilities.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want us to build up a military presence right on your border?
Warsaw Pact states in Eastern
Europe
like joined.
The Cuban Missile Crisis?
The United States and its allies have warned Putin that Russia will face tough economic sanctions if he attacks Ukraine. Though there are divisions among Western countries over how to respond, as Europe is dependent on Russia for energy supplies. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said on Friday,
Gotta hate it when you're dependent on another country.
Ready to increase its troop
United States are too.
Eastern Europe.
Of course, we are also ready to step up, as we actually now do, our military presence in the eastern part of the alliance to prevent any misunderstanding or room for miscalculation about NATO's ability and readiness to protect and defend all allies.
He also warned Russian attack could take many forms, including a cyber attack, attempted coup, or sabotage. That as Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov sent a conciliatory message to the West while echoing Putin's response.
If it depends on us, the Russian Federation, there will be no war. We don't want war, but we will not allow violating our interests. And ignoring our interests, we will not allow either.
Russia first.
He added that he expected to meet US Secretary of State Antony Blinken again in the next couple of weeks.
Conflict and to de-escalate.
You can never hear what they say with those damn things on their mouth. Every damn time I have to talk to somebody with one of those damn things on. I don't know what you're saying. I can't make it out. Take it off. OMG needs a seat cover. You gonna get one of those beaded ones so you can have a little back massage while you drive? Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody who was lurking. We have a lot of great people here tonight. War Drums. What up, War Drums? How you doing? I need to text you. I will try to do that tomorrow. I have been quite busy trying to learn a new career path and also doing my daily at the same time. So less time for personal stuff like that, but I will try to make it a point to do it. We also had Mule Team in here, Anonymous Americans in here, Broken Patriot. Still hoping for the better solution. And you know what? Even though I don't think it's going to get better, even though I think it's only going to get worse, even though I don't have much hope for this nation, if you do, Congratulations, and I'm glad for you. And I hope I hope I'm wrong, right? I really do. It's not something I want to be right about. And you should contact your senators and congressmen about the Bipartisan Violence Against Women Act. Unfortunately, I'm against it. I would love to be for, something to prevent violence against women. That'd be great. As Nug said, how about let's give them some self-defense classes? Doesn't even have to be with firearms. Give them judo. Something. But instead, we're going to have the boyfriend law where you get red flag just because you dated some lady who now doesn't like you. And you get treated as a criminal from the get? No. People that wore masks. Oh, I already read that. I scrolled up. No, a sexy one. I guess she could wear beads. Oh, okay. You want to have like a lap dance thing. Gotcha. I'm going to think about the rally. I'm going to think about it. I do need to sign up for the GOA again and for the AZ's CDL. I did not get lifetime memberships. I only got like a year membership, and those are both expired. And it might be a good idea to get on that. If you own a firearm, and this is just my opinion, if you own a firearm, you should really think about maybe getting some sort of lawyer on retainer. I'm not sponsored by the USD. Was it the USAD? I don't remember. The one they all promote. I have no idea if that's a good company or not. I'm not recommending it. However, I do believe the value in having a lawyer on retainer in case you need it. And it's not going to be just for self-defense. It could be for a red flag law. It could be for so many different things. Apparently now, if you try to buy a firearm and you got a common name and you get NICS denied, right, you might need a lawyer because they're going to treat you like a criminal if that passes. So we'll try what we can do to prevent it. But at some point, they're doing it every few years. At some point, it's going to go through. Don't forget to check the Discord. I need to remember to check the Discord once in a while. And I do apologize for not being around as much as I should be, but been a little busy. That fun read about different ways they tried to kill Castro. Hells yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Cool. Thank you, Nugs. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Don't plan on a dragon unless I get some people on board that want. Like, I need to get a few. 4. If I can get 4 people to join, I'll do it. And I will text some people. And if I get 4 people, I already know I have me and Gerald, so there's 2. We only need like 2 or 3 more. So I'll work on that, getting in touch with people if they want to do it. If not, I think it might be good to at least pause it. Now, as I said, anybody who wants to run the dragon that's OG or somebody that Mule okays, I will go ahead and hand the keys over and teach them how to run it and the whole bit, because it is a little bit of a process. But it can be done, and it's not that hard to do. Until I see you, I'll probably see you next Wednesday, for sure. We might not be talking about the news. We might have to start talking about prepping. Maybe we should just be a prepping channel, right? What did you do this week to prep? And what are you prepping for? Right? We do a lot of canned foods. We just got like 40 pounds of Roma tomatoes at 50 cents a pound and canned the shit out of them. And so hopefully those will last us a while for the tomatoes. But I mean, we can a lot of different things other than tomatoes. That was just the most recent one. But getting into self-reliance, it's not illegal yet. It's not even frowned upon yet, I don't think. So you need to figure out your situation. If I'm right and this country is going the way of the dodo, then it would be good for you to have some things set aside for such emergencies. Have a little bit of real tradable currency, whether it's silver and gold or whether it's bullets or whether it's canned food or alcohol, something that you can trade to get what you need if the dollar is not worth anything, right? A secondary way of having power, a secondary way of having communication, right? Communication's a big deal. Making sure you have clean, drinkable water, making sure you have enough food and a shelter All those basic things. Make sure you have those and have a decent backup for them as well. Because what happens if everything that you have in your house that you've prepared for is now not available to you? What if they take you out of your house and tell you you can't live there anymore and you can't even grab anything, you just have to go? Oh, I'm gonna give them the lead first. Yeah. Are you? With your kids right there? With your wife right there? You gonna give them the lead first? Some might, most won't. And just because somebody says they will, even if they believe it wholeheartedly, you never really know until that moment comes. All right, guys, I've been just going on and on for a while. So I will see you guys next Wednesday, maybe Friday. Check the Discord. If I do set up a dragon on Friday, I'll post it in the Discord first. And obviously, I'll try to give it like a couple hours before the dragon starts as a, stream coming soon. After what Russia said, nothing to worry about. Just kiss your ass goodbye. Yeah, I guess. See Jesus real quick. All right, guys. Peace.